Now, I'm going to be sharing here on basic principle on how can you as an entrepreneur be innovative? How can you as a believer, as a marketplace apostle, as a marketplace entrepreneur, leader, as an iconoclastic entrepreneur, how can you, I'm going to be sharing over 20 ways that you can be innovative. Number one, be open-minded. Don't be stereotyped. You must learn to be open-minded. You cannot be successful, you cannot be innovative if you are not open-minded. If your mind is very rigid, you are very archaic. Anytime you see people doing things, you attribute it to them. Is a young generation, it's your generation. I was in a conversation with some of my senior colleagues in their late 40s and early 50s, and they were basically rejecting the advantage and the benevolence that comes with artificial intelligence. They were like, it's for Gen Z. I told them, no, you must learn to be open-minded. Be open-minded. Don't be stereotyped. As an entrepreneur, you must learn to, if you cannot be innovative if you are not open-minded, if you are very stereotyped, if your world's view sees and interprets things in black and white, you must learn to see beyond black and white. You must learn to be flexible, to be open-minded. Number two ways for you to be innovative, you must learn to be flexible to change. Change is a constant event that disrupts the market. Change is a constant thing. You must learn to be flexible to change. The fact that things are not done today the way they were the fact that things were not done today the way they were done a decade ago when you were much younger does not make them to be wrong. You must learn to be constant, to be flexible to change. The more we change, the more we evolve, the more relevant we'll become, regardless of our age. The Bible spoke so much about pouring a new wine in an old wineskin, but the Bible didn't say so much about pouring old wine in a new wineskin. When you pour old wine in a new wineskin, it will still be relevant as though it is a new wine in a new wineskin. Some of you can be in your 30s, in your middle 30s, in your late 30s, in your early 40s, in your late 50s, in your 60s, in your 70s. You can be relevant. Learn if only you can be flexible to change. Don't be so rigid, very stiff. You are just like walking like a robot. You must learn to be flexible to change. Number three ways for you to be innovative, you must be willing to learn new things. Willing to learn. Every day you must learn new things. Every week you must learn new things. You must learn new vocabulary. You must learn new things. You must learn certain things from different industry. It may not be in one industry. Learn to be open-minded. Dive into certain industry. Read a page of a book, a page. You may not be able to sit down to read one complete book in a week, but as little as you reading a page every day, when you build on a habit, you build on it daily, before you know, you gain certain mastery as you grow. So you must learn you must be willing to learn new things every day. Learn new things every week. Never a week passes by that you wouldn't learn one thing. You should never allow a single day or a week or a month passing by without you learning something new about politics, about business, global business, about IT, about robotics, about business, about marketing, about interpersonal skills, about social capital intelligence. You must learn to learn something new. Learn something new. Be willing to learn something new every day. Number four, work with an innovative team. Associate with those whose area of strength is your weakness. Never work with people that have the same resemblance of weakness with you. We must have an innovative circle, people that sharpens you. The Bible says that he that walks with the wise shall be wise, a companion with the fool shall be destroyed. There's nothing that the fastest way to success is association. One of the fastest, even when you don't know what to do or where you're going to, hang around people that know what they're doing and where they're going to. It's just a matter of time you become a master at it. You must learn to have an innovative circle. You must learn to have it. Don't just have a prayer warrior or inter-prayer partners or something. As beautiful as that is, it's powerful. But you must also have innovative partners, circles, people that think in your frequency, that even think beyond your frequency. Always ensure that the people you work with doesn't have the same similar weaknesses with you. You must work with people whose area of strength is your area of weakness and whose area of weakness is your area of strength so they can complement and sharpen yourself. The Bible says iron sharpens iron, so does a friend sharpen the container of his friend. Then number 5, get a relatively versatile and creative mentor. You cannot be innovative while your mentor is conservatively uncreative. Every creative, everyone that is called into the creative industry that is very innovative and very inventive must also get a relatively versatile and creative mentor, so that when you sit down, listen to him talk to you, it gives you, his counsel gives you perspective. He will be able to share with you the area that he or she had failed in the past. So based on the strength of what he or she is able to share with you that he or she had failed in the past, you'll be able to leverage on that and stand on it like a sycamore tree to soar into a deeper dimension. You must discipline yourself. It's not just enough for you to have a mentor. Have a relatively versatile and creative mentor. When a mentor is conservative and is not creative, it will affect your thinking. Its limitation eventually become your limitation. Its pattern of evaluating things or approach to life itself it's contagious, because the anointing flows from the head. So you must be able to get a relatively versatile and creative mentor. Your mentor should be at least relatively versatile. If they're talking about politics, talking about international business, talking about ethics, talking about creativity, excellence, mastery, you'll be able to have him give you perspective at his every single conversation that you have with him strikes a level of curiosity in you to learn and to learn some more from him. Then number 6, create a creative daily practice or routine around what you are gifted at and what you are knowledgeable at. You must learn to create a creative daily practice or routine around what you are gifted at and what you are knowledgeable about. There are things that you are knowledgeable about that you must learn to create daily routine around them. Anything you are gifted at, you must learn to create daily routine around that. And the daily routine should be targeted to making you better, making you perform better, empowering you with skills and ideas to be more proactive and more creative. You must learn to create daily routines around the things you are gifted at. If you are a singer, for instance, you must learn to practice. According to the words of Kevin Bond, he said, practice makes permanent. What you practice every day becomes not just you, but part of you. So you must learn to practice. You must learn to practice is constant. If you are a singer, every day you must learn to rehearse. You must learn to sing song. You must learn to pick a song on particular key. Do like a semitone modulation 10 times, 12 times, 13 times. Keep constantly working on your voice. Work on your vocal agility. Work on your vocal range. Work on your vocal dexterity. Work on your pitch. Work on your ability to be able to identify note and to modulate. You must learn to work that. If you're a singer, you must learn to practice. Create a daily routine around the things that you are very gifted at. You must learn to create a daily routine around that. Anything you are knowledgeable at, create a routine around it. If you know you are knowledgeable about certain things that has to do with business and everything, create a routine, a daily routine. Write. Develop the habit of writing every day. If you're a footballer, learn to create a routine around a daily routine that makes you to perform better. It boosts your performance level. It increases your creativity. It empowers you to gain certain level of mastery when you begin to create routine around what you are gifted and what you are more knowledgeable about. Number 7, be accountable to an innovative mentor. You must learn to be accountable to an innovative mentor. Listen to an innovative mentor when he talks. It does not matter his weaknesses or where he has failed. As long as he has had certain level of record of innovation, learn to listen to it. Only a fool compete with those he or she should be learning from. I've seen so many people, young entrepreneurs, that the people that they should be learning from, the friends or colleagues, they should be learning from because of the slight age dichotomy between them, they fail to identify that this person has got all I need to learn. The information I need to move me from point A to point B is in this person. So the people that we're supposed to be learning from are the people that we are competing with. When village people want to destroy you, want to deal with you, they will begin to make you compete with those that should be mentoring you. Be accountable. Be accountable to an innovative mentor. You must get a mentor. Every industry, everything that you are gifted at, you must look for a mentor in that area. A mentor that you cannot pick a football coach to mentor you on IT. It's a wrong thing. He cannot be able to relate with the challenges that comes with that industry. You cannot meet an IT guru to teach you, to mentor you in the area of music. It's not possible, as gifted as he is. You cannot pick somebody as a pastor that the only thing, he has never run a successful business very well. He doesn't know what it means for you to put staffs in payroll for 1 year, for you to start teaching you about how to make money, how to multiply money, how to be able to be industrious in your industry. No, you must understand that you have mentor. You know, you may have several mentors that addresses certain particular needs, specific need in your life. You know, if you are gifted in several things, I would recommend for you to have mentors that advises you based on the area of strength and achievement or the breakthrough they've had in that industry. You're a footballer. There is no wisdom in you getting a pastor as a mentor to mentor you. What will he mentor you? How can you use scripture to teach you how to play football? If you're a farmer, you can't go and get an IT guru to teach you how to be a mentor. You have to look for industry captains, people that have attained certain degree or dimension of success over time, and let them mentor you. Be humble enough to learn. Because most of the people that may, the chances of you having younger people mentor you in certain things you're not gifted at is over average. So it takes great deal of humility and meekness for you to learn from unlikely people. Then number eight is pick up monthly creative project. You must learn to pick up monthly or quarterly creative project. You must get to pick up project. If you are into IT, you are into agriculture, you're into marketing, you are into programming, you are into writing, you are into a pastor, pick up a monthly or 3 month or by yearly or quarterly or weekly creative goals project that will stretch you. Don't just sit down there and be praying from morning to evening. Prayer is very fantastic. One thing prayer does is opens your impulses, your creative impulses, so that when God gives you an idea, you can easily be able to take the idea and cultivate it. You must learn. If you cannot be creative, if you don't have periodic creative project, you must learn to pick up monthly creative project. Be involved around it may not be your project, hang around people's project. If you are not faithful in one man's work, you can never be faithful with your own. You must learn to be able to identify yourself with creative project that stretches you, that takes you out of your comfort zone, that pushes you, that brings out the best from you. You must learn to be part of creative project. It must not be all around you. Everything must not be centered only around you and around your ego. It can be a friend. You can volunteer. Be part of it. When you discover a project that is creative, that can stretch you, that can challenge your mediocrity, volunteer. Identify. If it takes for you to even give money to be part of the project, do that. So that by the end of that project, discover that you might have learned certain principles that can be applicable to your own project and to your own life. Then number 9, always cultivate the habit of learning from everything and everyone. Always cultivate the habit of learning from everything and anyone. You can learn even from madmen. The reason why they are mad. You can learn from failures, why they have failed. We're in a generation where the consciousness for result-driven mentorship, your mentor must run, as a pastor, your mentor must run 10 services, must have a 20,000 sitting cathedral, your mentor must have that is fantastic. Fantastic. But you must learn, if you must be an innovator these last days, you must learn to learn from everyone, both from successful people and from failures. There are people that what you can learn from them is what you shouldn't do for you to fail. Based on the strength of their weakness and what makes them not to succeed, they will tell you that if you go this route, I don't need to be a prophet to predict to you what will happen. This is what I did, this is what I didn't do, and that has affected me to this extent. If I had done this thing better, if I've gone this way, if I've done this thing, if I've executed this task, I would have been here. But because I didn't do it. So you must learn to learn from everybody. You must learn to learn from the old. You must learn to learn from the young. You must learn to learn from your your peer group. You must learn to learn from both the young and the age. You must learn to learn from everything and everyone if you must be innovative. Then number 10, identify, cultivate, and appreciate your inherent uniqueness. You are not your friend. Your friend is not you. You will not be successful doing the things that your friend does that makes him or her successful. You will not become known and famous by doing the things that your friend does. God has ordained you to succeed distinctively. There are certain giftings that God has put in you that He has not put in your friend. You must learn to succeed in your terms. You must admit admittance to succeed in your terms is one thing you must do as an innovator. You must learn to appreciate, you must learn to identify, cultivate, appreciate your inherent uniqueness. There are certain things that God has put in you that He has not put in the heart of your mentors. The Bible says, out of the mouth of babes, as the Lord ordained, out of the mouth of babe and sucklings, as the Lord ordained praise. Why would God put His praise in the mouth of babes and sucklings? There are certain things that God has put in you that He has not put in anyone. You are the only kind of your species. You are the only kind of your type. God has put us. Never in your attempt to appreciate people, you must learn to identify, cultivate, and appreciate your inherent uniqueness. You shouldn't, in an attempt to celebrate your brother or your friend, you do it at the expense of that which God has invested in you. God has put so much in you that the world is waiting. The Bible said the earnest expectation of the creature wait for the manifestation of the sons of God. God has put so much in you. In your attempt to celebrate others, celebrate them, honor them, sow into their lives. Be part of their project, but don't do that at the expense of that which God had invested in your life. You are not the inferior. You are also the superior. You are not competing with anybody. They are the superior. You are also the superior. You are also a champion in your industry. God has put so much in you. You must learn to identify every single giftings that God has put in you. Certain potential that are yet to be cultivated, you must learn to identify everything, cultivate it, and appreciate your inherent uniqueness. Number 11 ways for you to be innovative, you must learn to diversify the expression of your potential. Learn to diversify the expression of your potential. Adopt the 7x1 principle. The 7x1 principle is adopting 7 reputable strategy or ways of executing one task. The 7x1 principle is basically the principle of doing one thing in 7 ways. One thing in 7 ways. Don't always do one thing one way. You must learn to look for 7 ways to execute one task. The Bible spoke about the sower that went to sow a seed. He went to the back and he fetched the seedlings. And the Bible said when he went, the Bible spoke about the sower that went to sow a seed. The Bible says he went to the back and they fetched the seed. And the Bible says he went and they went to the seed and put them in 4 different ground. The first one he put the seed was not productive. The second one he put it was not productive. It was the 4th one. You must adopt the 7x1 strategy. The 7x1 principle of application. So you must learn to do one thing, not one way, not 2 ways, 7 ways. When God begins to drop certain skills in you, certain ideas, learn to have multiple ways of executing your tasks. Diversify the expression of your potential. You're a singer, you must learn to adopt different ways to be able to execute your singing skills. You shouldn't just learn jazz. You must be open to classical music. There are different genres of music. Some of you, because you are into jazz, you don't want to learn classical. You don't want to learn contemporary music. You don't want to learn Afro. You must be open. Learn to diversify. You must learn to diversify the expression of your potential. You must learn to adopt the 7x1 principle, adopting the 7 reputable strategy or ways of executing one task. Don't do one thing one way. Do one thing in multiple ways. So when you do that, it affords you the advantage or the privilege for you to be able to understand what way is the best, so that you'll be able to identify the best among the 7 execution or 7 ways or strategy you've adopted and begin to focus more on the strategy that produces more result. You wouldn't know the possibility or the blessing that comes to you exploring certain strategy. So when you begin to do one thing one way, you are stereotyped. You limit your potential. You limit the possibility that comes to you being diversified. You must learn to diversify. You must learn to do one thing in 7 ways. So when you, after doing them 7 ways, you sit down to critically examine the output or the outcome and look at the ones that yield more result. So when you identify the one that yield more result, you begin to pay more attention to doing it well and better. Then number 12, ways for you to be innovative. Always take measurable creative risks. You must learn to take measurable, calculated, well-calculated risks. You must learn to take it. Some of you also are not known to take risks. We are not initiators. We are not inventors. We are just managers. We are directors. We are not known to initiate ideas or iconoclastic ideas. Rather, we are known for just, supporting and being on the background. You must learn to train yourself to always learn to take measurable creative risks. You must learn to take risks. You must do some certain things for the first time. If you're a videographer or a cinematographer, you saw a picture or a video or a montage or a commercials that you can see the display of creativity, excellent, that is innate. Don't just sit down and say that, mene. Sit down and begin to learn it. Begin to practice. Begin to imitate. Begin to try to recreate or reproduce or re-edit the video. Try to recreate it. If you're a graphic designer and you eventually identify a very good graphic designer somewhere that is very good in visual communication, it is not enough for you to just sit down and look at him like a god or like a demigod. But you must learn to be able to say, okay, the things that he has done, the graphic design, the montage, the commercials, the video, the advert that he has done, in what way can you replicate it by imitating him? So we learn faster when we imitate. You must learn to take calculated risks around the industry where God is ordaining you for. Number 13, have a weekly, monthly, or quarterly creative goals. You must set goals. Set goals. You must set goals. You must set it and set goals. You must learn to set goals. You must have what I call have a weekly, monthly, or quarterly creative goals. What do you want to do? How can you do what you do better? In what way can you adopt new skills, new technology, new softwares, new relationship that can empower you or influence you to be more productive and proactive in that thing that you're doing?